Let's get into it, shall we? Previously, I had explained understanding as the final healing theme of consciousness, and how understanding, in a sense, is subjective. Understanding still is limited, right? And there's that need to still expand beyond our limited understanding. So, with that, is bringing us closer to a grander truth. We now understand the most freeing perspective through which we can see life is through that of love. And that brings us to love and inner peace as the first enlightenment theme of consciousness. So, love and inner peace explores emotion being gratitude and serenity, just being grateful for life. And a way to access this theme is, how can my actions best benefit myself and others? So, for a good minute, we've been exploring self, we've been exploring external as well in terms of healing. With understanding, we found a balance between that. But at this point, we are making sure that the actions that we perpetuate ultimately benefit ourselves and others at the same time. So, I mean, it's interesting that some actions can benefit you, but does that benefit others? Is there a way that you can find that sweet spot, that intersection between benefiting yourself and others? So, with love, we also have being able to show up as this self that is able to perpetuate actions that are still for a good cause, for a cause that invites others to experience life from an amazing place, right? So, gratitude is again that emotion that comes with love, because with gratitude, you love life, you're grateful for life, you love the life that you have. When it comes to love, it's not the typical love that we know, as in that infatuation type of love, but just genuinely ensuring that your actions also benefit the people around you and the world around you. That is you coming from a place of love, right? And there's love in sharing. So that would mean that your life becomes an embodiment of a shared experience that is beneficial to you and your external world and the world around you. And that is how you influence the world around you, ensuring that just as much as you are pouring into yourself, you're also pouring into the world. Remember how I had explained that the way the environment we found ourselves in, they past setting wounding onto us. At this point, we realize that we get to choose how we show up in the world, and our internal space ultimately translates and projects the world and the experience of the world around us. And not only are we ensuring that our internal space is filled with love, we become an embodiment of that love that ripples around into the world. And again, asking the question of, how can my actions benefit myself and others best, right, is such a way to access this theme. And one thing that limits this theme, though, is conditional love and attachment to preferences. And so naturally, when you say you love something, it means that, oh, you love the thing. There is also that possibility that it comes with there being a preference. So you love something because that looks a certain way to you, because it feels a certain way to you. And when I was personally exploring the theme of love, I had to, detach myself from preferences. And that's where you get to transcend into the unconditional love sphere. Because unconditional love does not hold something and say, okay, yes, I love this thing because. I love this thing in spite of, I love this thing regardless of, right? That's the idea of unconditional love. You do not love because that is conditional love. You love because somebody is nice to you. You love because someone cares for you. You love because, there is a condition attached to this love. And it's easy to love because, right? And then again, that creates this reality where your love is as a resultant effect of what somebody is doing or how something makes you feel, still centering on that external level. And the goal here is that we're able to pour out love from ourselves, and we're able to center the love that we embody, not because something externally is a certain way, not because the outcome or circumstances are a certain way, right? We do not wait till things are perfect before we love. Just as in terms of acceptance and accepting our worthiness, we do not wait for us to be perfect or for us to attain something external for us to then feel that worthiness. We are able to embody worthiness because we are. And with love, it takes it a step further and truly solidifies how there is that embodiment of love, because ultimately we are of love. We are from love. And our existence is always in a way a love story. Life provides us with these little these little signs, these little traits, these little characteristics, these little things we see as evidence that we are loved. The fact that we exist is a love in its own sense. And being grateful for the life that we live, being grateful for the things that happen in the ways that they happen solidifies love. And you cannot again wait for things to be a certain way or for a circumstance to be a certain way before you decide that, oh, okay, yeah, that is love. And the book makes us see how love truly is an embodiment of that saint like vibe, right? So it explores how our connection with God is solidified by love, because God is love. And once we start to embody love, we start to embody our true nature, not based off whatever it is, not based off understanding, not based off, you know, our human limitations. We can go beyond that human limitation and start to see things from a loving perspective. And not only do we see things from a loving perspective, things don't have to be a certain way for us to love the thing. And that's where unconditional love comes in. Because with love that is conditional, yes, we would have inner peace because we have to, ensure things are a certain way before we have that peace. But that could still be limited, right? It's limited to the preferences that you have. And if you have a circumstance or a situation or people in your life that are, not the favorite or not the best thing, then you would not live your best life. Then you would not enjoy the life that you live. Then you would expect that certain things have to be in place for you to show up lovingly. But they tell us and make us see how this doesn't have to be the case. We can choose to show up lovingly just because we are an embodiment of love. And once we start to show up lovingly, just because we're an embodiment of love and because we have the ability to expand even beyond, and when we expand to that point, we're able to get closer to our true nature, to our godlike self, to that self that is connected to God, to the I, right? And that's why I had spoken about the I being powered by unconditional love. So when we start to experience love in this way, we start to embody love in this way, we become directly connected to God and we flow through life. We don't have any obstacles. There are not certain situations that throw us off or we're not feeling bad about certain things because we genuinely are grateful for life. We genuinely love everything as it is. And some other things about unconditional love is that you're not waiting for things to be a certain way. You're not waiting to feel a certain way. There is no condition to it. You just love because there's always an opportunity to see things from a loving perspective. And remember, with the love, it is how do I benefit? How do my actions benefit myself and others? And with unconditional love, you're able to tune into that regardless of the preference that you have, right? Regardless of, what you would what would be deemed as best. And that way you expand how much you show love to yourself too. Because again, the way that you meet yourself is how you meet other people, and vice versa. If you expand the love that you have for other people, you expand the love that you can give. And there is love in sharing. The more that you share, the more that you expand, the more you evolve as a person, and you meet new versions of yourself that you never even knew existed. You know, this, again, love that we are now embodying is the love that we've been wanting all along, especially coming from that wounding of rejection. Rejection says I am unlovable. That is the root program belief. At this point, the love that the world did not give us, right? Because we felt rejected, we felt unlovable. The love that the world did not give us, we start to see how we can give that love to ourselves. And not only can we give that love to ourselves, the love that we give to ourselves can ripple through. And so if we start being unconditionally loving overall, we start loving the parts of ourselves that we couldn't even love